Hey food lovers, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making one of my all-time favorites, sweet, soft and a little chewy puff puff. I'll be sharing with you a few tricks that takes your puff puff game to the next level. Let's get started.
Oh my yum.
Welcome back. Let me start by introducing my ingredients. For the base, we have the usual classic puff puff essentials. I have my all-purpose flour, sugar, salt, yeast and nutmeg. But for my extras, I have my baking powder, I have my powdered milk, and I have my bread flour. And I'll be showing you and telling you why I'm adding each of them and at what point to add them. Let me quickly mention that I'm making use of instant yeast, so there is no need to activate this yeast. And also for my nutmeg, I'm using the whole one, so I'll have my grater on the side to grate that when it's time to add it. So I started by adding my all-purpose flour into my big bowl, and I came in with some portion of bread flour. I like to substitute some of my all-purpose flour for the bread flour because of the higher protein content, and this will give strength to my puff puff and help it to be nice and chewy. So if you're looking for that chewy, sweet textured puff puff, you want to add some bread flour into your mixture. So next I came in with my salt and milk. I added and mixed into the flour because I don't want to make a mistake of adding my yeast on top of my salt. Please don't do that because salt will kill your yeast. So after mixing the salt in, I just came in with my sugar and yeast. They're very friendly towards each other. I also added my baking powder. Baking powder is also a raising agent and they work hand in hand to help give my puff puff that very nice bouncy lift, and that is why I just like to add it. You may get away with just adding your yeast as well, it works fine, but sometimes in case anything has happened to your yeast or your yeast is a bit weak, the baking powder would help to give it that boost. After mixing all the dry ingredients together, you're going to come in with warm water, not hot water, just warm water. And for this 1 kg of flour, I usually add 800 ml of warm water, but sometimes it is less, sometimes it's a bit more depending on the flour. So you want to make sure that you add the water in gradually. You don't want to pour everything in and find out that it's too much because you can't take it out at that point. So you just go in slowly and watch how your flour is receptive of the water. If you need more, add a bit more. And I'll show you what happens at the end of this recipe, because usually when I mix this 1 kg, a lot of times is exactly 800 ml of water that I will use for the recipe, and it's fine. But this one, you'll see what happens at the end of the day. Let me use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your amazing support day in, day out. I really appreciate you. I see all your comments, I see all your shares, and our members, thank you so much for the tips that you give. Really appreciate it. God bless you real good. And if you're new here, warm welcome to you. Please do well to subscribe to this channel because I promise you there are lots of interesting recipes, and most of the time the recipes that I film, they're what I'm making in my home, and I just like to share that with you, so you will find it interesting here, I promise you. If you notice the texture or the consistency of my puff puff batter is not watery, this is because I want a chewy texture to my puff puff. So if you want that chewy texture, you have to make sure that your batter is a bit thick. You don't want those puff puff that there is nothing inside them. You know, when you open inside it, there is absolutely nothing. And please don't be like me. When you're making puff puff, make sure you use a bowl that is big enough to accommodate all your batter, because this is going to triple or so in size. And I just noticed that this bowl was not going to be enough. I don't know why I did it in this bowl this particular day, because I know this already, but this thing happened, so I just had to take out some of the batter and put it in a different bowl. So here we are. I have some water that is left over, even though I've made this recipe the exact amount of water so many times, this, you know, the same exact brand of flour but yet today I still have some leftover water. So this is why it is important to add your water gradually. As you could see from the video, I covered with cling film and left it on my countertop. If you live in a cold country, you may want to do more than that. Cover it and put it in a very warm place, maybe the warmest part of your kitchen, so that it can rise quickly. But here I just left it on the countertop, and within an hour this is the rice that I have. So it is nice and hairy, so you want to remove your cover. And I also like to deflate or degas my batter. This is because I don't want a puff puff that has nothing inside. I want my puff puff to be nice and fluffy and chewy inside at the same time. Now we're ready to fry, and you're going to place a pan, a deep pan, a frying pan, or whatever you want to use on the stove, and add some vegetable oil. Please do not use olive oil, because olive oil doesn't have high smoking point. You're going to add some oil into it and allow the oil to heat up gently. I'll be wearing gloves to scoop this puff just because I find it easier. So all I did was wear one hand of glove because I don't need the second one, and I oiled that glove with some vegetable oil. I test my oil to make sure it is nice and hot by placing a wooden spoon inside. Once you notice the little bubbles around the wooden spoon, then your oil is hot enough and you can start scooping. And this is how I scoop my batter. There are so many different ways of scooping this batter, but you just want to do what works for you. I have another recipe, a video of different types of scooping method for puff-puff. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it up in this video. So you want to be as quick as possible while scooping your batter into the oil, because you want your puff-puff to cook evenly. Let me use this opportunity to thank you if you're still watching this video. Thank you so very much for staying tuned. Really appreciate you. Please do not forget to hit the like button. If you're not yet subscribed, also please hit the subscribe button, and please do help me to share. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Please do not forget to check the description box for the list of ingredients and the measurements. So you're going to get the accurate measurement and the list of ingredients to achieve this recipe. You cannot go wrong except you decide to mess it up yourself. I promise you. You're going to make sure to scoop your batter to fill up the pan, because if you don't, these things can be very annoying. One or two of them would decide not to turn and they will remain pale on that side. So you want to make sure that the gap is filled. Even at that, there's still odd one or two that would not turn no matter what you do. The OGs, if you have a trick for making sure everything turn properly apart from what I am doing right now, please let me know. Leave it in the comment section. So you just want to keep an eye on it, move it around to make sure that it doesn't overcook on one side while the other side is looking pale. And after cooking it, this is what I have. Make sure to cook on medium heat, okay? You do not want to use high heat, otherwise your dough will cook on the outside and the inside will still be raw batter, and for that's not what we're looking for. So you're going to scoop dough, fry as many times as you have to do, depending on the size of your pan and how quickly you're able to scoop. And there you have it. Your puff-puff is ready. This is a great crowd pleaser, I'm telling you. I made it for my son and his friends, and this was gone before they even touched the food. It was meant to be their dessert, but it was gone. And look at the inside of that. I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.